Good morning, Bridget. It is, do you know what? I've got my favourite tea towel today. Can you read that? Feels it. We're going to introduce a new celebrity friend to our little gang, Bridge. You will like this. You won't like it, but I will like this. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, and keep subscribing. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. Bridget hasn't got her grubby little revenue making mitts on this. This is actually just free chat that you and I can have with each other, and I love it. So do please keep subscribing. And you never know, we might get a celebrity subscriber after today. And I feel like said celebrity might need to subscribe, because I feel like there's a long journey that he needs to go on before he actually gets to the bit where he goes, oh, I get it now. No disrespect, but if you haven't been in it, it takes a while to catch up. It is none other than actually the man that's on the radio at the minute, Romesh Ranganathan. So Romesh did an Insta reel. Every time I say that, I sound like I should be about 16. Insta reel. Complaining that his youngest didn't get the same school, state school, as his other children. And it's on the other side of town. So Romesh now has that marvellous dilemma of A, it's a crap school, you don't want him to go to it. B, it's on the other side of town. So how do you get one to one school and the other to the other school? And of course, Romesh, don't forget, you are going to be fined. So if your child is late, you will be fined, because any possible way that she can make revenue out of a child, she will. So you will be fined, and said child will have to do the walk of shame, which, having two children in two different schools, I can tell you, it's which child do I pick? Which one of you is going to be late today? It has to be one of you. So which one is it going to be? So I'll leave you to do that with your family Jenga. And Romesh has discovered that by approaching the council, you don't get any answers. And then when you do finally get an answer, the answer is computer says no. And so you are left in a situation where your children are at a school that you don't want them to go to, in a place that you don't like. And as somebody put in Romesh's comments, which, Bridget, you're going to hate this, they've said they're trying to force you to go private. Now, I don't think that sits well with Romesh. I feel like Romesh does not support the independent sector, and that's fine. You know, you do you, Romesh, you do you. But I'm wondering whether you support parental choice, because on your forms, you got the choice of 3 schools, which is actually really lucky for you. I didn't get that. So, Romesh, just to share with you, we moved over here. We didn't have an address because we moved from a different country. So my kids had to go into the local independent school. And then as we sort of went along the journey, it became clear that there were certain needs that one of my children needed that had to be catered for, because the local state offering could not cater for her. No fault of theirs whatsoever, just how it is sometimes. So we didn't actually have the choice of 1, 2, 3. It was like pay or pay. So we paid. And then Bridget decided we weren't paying enough, because she wanted us to pay for state education as well. I'm not going to say she wanted us to pay for your education, because, and again, don't mean to be judgy, Romesh. Don't mean to be judgy, Romesh, but I'm going to throw it out there. I think you might be able to pay for private education. You just choose not to, as is your want. I couldn't really afford to pay for private education, but didn't have the choice, so it wasn't my want. But now Bridget wants me to pay for yours as well, and hers, and Keir Starmer's. Although, interestingly, Keir Starmer's wife, when their school needed, and it's a state school, it's a very high selective state school, when they needed more money, she wouldn't allow parents in the state system to contribute further to their school, but she will allow, or her husband will allow, parents of people in the private independent sector to contribute further for a school that they're not even in. So you're now in the gravy train of no one gives a shit, as you rightfully said on Insta, and they don't. I hate to break it to you, Romesh, and if you look at all of these videos on my channel, I mean, take your pick, you could fill a day. I expect you've got better things to do, but I have forwarded some onto your Insta reel that I think might be pertinent, and you know, we could have a chat about certain areas if you need a little bit of clarity on it. But the long and the short of it is, she doesn't, you were right, she doesn't care. It's not about children's education. It's a political step for Bridget about moving up the ladder career-wise. She's using your children as pawns. There is no money. There will be no money coming from the private independent sector. I don't know whether you've got to that bit yet, but just to fill you in, it would only make money if less than 10% moved over to the state sector. Well, more than 10% have moved over to the state sector, which is probably why your child doesn't have their place, if I'm totally honest. And looking at where you live, I would say that's exactly why your child doesn't have a place. And lots of other people in the UK are not getting places at the minute, because all the kids that Bridget said would not move over have moved over, and more are coming. So just to warn you, if you're sort of planning on, applying in the next couple of years, more are coming, but I'm not seeing any more secondary schools, state schools. So we'll see how that goes. So it's a bit of a mess. I mean, some might call it a cluster of, and others might call it just a complete disaster. Some might call it educational vandalism. Some might call it, there's lots of things some might call it. And actually a lot of things that people are calling it have been written on your Instagram page. You should read my comments. I get loads of them as well. We could share comments. We could be like comment buddies. It'd be great. So Romesh, the long and the short of it is, I hear you. The council won't hear you. Bridget won't hear you. I mean, even, like other famous people, Alexander Armstrong, he's not happy with this either, but they don't listen to him. They just don't listen. It's la, 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 la. It was the Tories' fault. It was all their fault. It happened 14 years ago. We're just going to make it even worse. But they don't say that last bit. They just do that last bit. She doesn't listen. She doesn't engage. She doesn't want to know how you feel. I mean, you are in the 93, 94% club. So you've got a better chance, to be fair, than me. I'm in the 6, 7% club that has no chance. She doesn't engage whatsoever. The Children's Commissioner, don't bother with her. She won't listen. Your local MP, depends which side of the coin. I'm not sure what West Sussex is, but again, ultimately they don't care. It's a problem that's not going to go away. So shout. Be careful though. So the people in the independent sector, we started complaining about this quite some time ago, and we were called private school lobbyists. Bridget would come up with as many nasty words as she could. I mean, she said that state schools needed money more than we needed astroturf and embossed paper, which funnily enough, as you get all of these letters from your MPs telling you why VAT is such a brilliant thing, it's normally on embossed paper. But yeah, I think Angela Rayner called Eton people scum. Rachel Reeves has said she wants to abolish the independent sector. She's called parents of the independent sector snobs. I saw some of the names on your post of some of the children that go to state school, and I thought, hang on a minute. I mean, I'm not going to name and shame them, and I actually think they're quite nice names. But our kids get called Tarquin, Philomena. Abused at literally every single available opportunity. Pay your taxes, shut up and pay up. We get that quite a lot, particularly for the children that have disabilities, because Romesh, the D in SEND stands for disabilities. So particularly those children that really have no choice and do have disabilities, but they get abuse thrown at them left, right and centre. I mean, it's extraordinary. You would have thought that we were a caring nation, but turns out we couldn't give a shit, as you rightfully said. So yeah, it's murky and it's messy, and your father wolf is going to come out because all you want to do is protect your child and of course be able to make a living and go to work and not have to do 48 school runs in the morning and in the evening, which costs a fortune in diesel, although maybe you're electric but you've still got to charge the thing, and it's congestion in town. West Sussex, very pretty, lots of villages that you've got to drive through. That's not going to go down well. So yeah, I mean, it's created a mother wolf and a father wolf, and it isn't going anywhere. But I invite you to, let's make friends, let's connect. I've made so many friends, it's brilliant. Honestly, LinkedIn, when I hear the bring, I think, oh, who's that? And they're all really nice people in the main. But we can chat more about this, because this was never about private versus state, ever. This was about exactly what you said. This was about parental choice. This was about having the choice for your child to go to the school that you best feel suits their needs and your needs as a family. But that is no longer a thing. And honestly, Romesh, if you really want to get into this, have a look at the Education and Welfare Bill. Oh, it will blow your brains. So I'll leave you with that. It's a lot to take in. Subscribe, Romesh, to the channel. I'd love you to. All of Romesh's Instagram followers as well. Hey, nice to read all of your comments. They were very good. I agreed with lots of them. I feel as though we could have actually a sensible chat, unlike the one that you have with Bridget Phillipson, which is one where you talk, she doesn't listen, she walks away, and then she says things like determined, high and rising standards, barriers. Not realising that she is the barrier. It's a bit of a rant. I feel like I need to sit down. Haven't got time to do that. Mum taxi calls. I think we're already late. And when you're late with a teenager, you have to spend the entire time in the car with them going, oh, I told you I needed to be there at 10 and it's going to be like 10 and 3 seconds and I'm going to be late. See you later.